Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
The Mitzvah of Kerias Hatorah, who established it and for what reason? Who is not aware of one of the most famous established Jewish customs that takes place in shul and synagogue, that we take out the Sefer Torah on periodical days and read from it from the Torah? However, what many are unaware of is who started this custom, when was it initiated, and why? How long in Jewish history have we been abiding by this minhag, and why was it begun? So it's recorded in the tractate Baba Kama 82a that the custom of Kerias Hatorah was established in the times of Moshe Rabbeinu, that this Jewish tradition dates back all the way to biblical times. The Rishonim, the Rambam, the Rif, and so rules the Magen Avram and the Alter Rebbe in numerous sources and places, writes that in fact it was established by Moshe himself. That Moshe Rabbeinu himself established for the Jewish people that they are to read from the Torah scroll on Shabbos, on Yom Tif, on Yom Kippur, on Rosh Chodesh, and Chol Hamoed, and on Mondays and Thursdays. Now according to this, the question is asked whether the reading of the Torah on the above dates is a biblical obligation. As if it was established in biblical times, perhaps the mitzvah should be considered biblical. And indeed, that is the position of the Bach, as he writes in chapter 685, to also be the opinion of Rashi, that Kerias Hatorah on Shabbos and all other days established by Moshe Rabbeinu is a mitzvah min HaTorah. Nonetheless, practically the vast majority of the Rishonim and Achreinim all rule that Kerias Hatorah is only rabbinical. Meaning that although it was established in the times of Moshe, it was established as a rabbinical decree by Moshe and not as a command from God. But nonetheless, what we've discovered from here is that this is one of the earliest rabbinical institutions in Jewish history to read the Torah on the above said dates. Now there was one date that we did not mention that the Torah is read, and it's required to be analyzed as to who established that Torah reading. We did not mention the Torah reading of Mincha on Shabbos, and the reason for that is because indeed it is stated there in the Gemara and Bava Kama, in the Yerushalmi, and in the Poskim that this was established much later in the times of Ezra. He is the one who established the Mincha Torah reading, as opposed to all the other dates were established by Moshe. It goes without saying that the Torah reading of Chanukah and Purim, which only came about much later, were not established by Moshe. Torah on a fast day was established in the Mishnaic era and not by Moshe Rabbeinu. So now that we have the history clear and the authors of the initiation of the custom, let us now explain why the institution of reading Torah was made. So the Gemara there in Bava Kama explains something very interesting. There's a pasuk that's stated in Shmos after the Jewish people experienced Kriyas Yamsuf. They were traveling through the desert. The verse states that the Jewish people walked 3 days in the desert and did not find water. The preachers, the Darshanim, the Darsha Rishimas expounded on this verse and said that the term water here is not only literal but also refers to Torah, to verses of Torah. And thus, the verse is stating that since they went 3 days without Torah, they became confounded, they became thirsty. So we see that a Jew cannot handle going 3 days without hearing words from the Sefer Torah. And therefore the Gemara says the prophets of those days, who we've already said is referring to Moshe Rabbeinu, established for the Jewish people that they read the Torah on Shabbos and again on Monday and again on Thursday in order so they never pass 3 days without Kerias Hatorah. Now, although a person can always choose to learn Torah on his own, and the saying of Shema is also from Torah, which men have to do twice a day, once by day, once by night, nonetheless, this is not the same status as hearing the reading from a kosher Sefer Torah itself. In other words, the empowering that the reading from a Sefer Torah with a minyan gives the neshama of a Jew, it's much stronger and different in quality than regular Torah learning that a person does privately. And it is that type of quality, spiritual experience that a Jew requires to have with every 3 days. Now what about Shabbos by Mincha? Why was the Torah reading established during that day? So the Gemara there explains, as is recorded in the Alter Rebbe Shulchanaruch 292 Halacha 2, that back then many people were unable to come to shul on Mondays and Thursdays as they lived in towns that did not have a minyan, and the closest minyan was a travel of a fair distance away, and therefore he established for their sake that we should read the Torah again on Mincha by afternoon of Shabbos when they are in town, in order so they get an extra Torah reading for their future week. Practically from all the above we learn the historical basis for Kerias Hatorah and the importance that it has for a Jewish community and for every single Jew to participate in.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many Sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.